had a look at the questions and they're all like amazing, from like where to start, super businessy. So I love it. And there's so much I want to say. I have so like I've only actually been doing this for like a year and a half, like the actual selling vocals bit. So whilst I've had like a bed of music career before that, the actual selling vocals bit is still quite new to me. So I may struggle to articulate myself at times. And it might jump around a bit and not be like chronological, but like I say, I will be recording it and you can jump back in. And if there's any kind of like acronyms I'm saying or music lingo that is not clear, please just feel free to ask me and I will again do my best to explain what I mean. And yes, still learning, but I have learned like a lot in the last year and a half, and from going to like not making any money from selling vocals online to now making like 3 to 4 grand a month is pretty fucking good going. And so the fact that you can do that from like not knowing how to do it to doing it in a year and a half, I think let's fucking go. Like we can all do that. So a bit about myself before I start answering the questions. Like I said, I'm not really coming at it from like having a normal 9 to 5 and then I came into this. I started uploading YouTube videos when I was 17, which is such a classic way to do it. Back in 2007 when it was like a ghost town and no one was really uploading. And so I managed to kind of find a bit of an audience on there. Now that audience would look pitiful, but back then it was like a bigger kind of audience. And so I was able to make money online through that for a good, I don't know, like 5 years or so. And that was through like Patreon, YouTube AdSense and stuff, but that was like nowhere near enough to sustain me. So I did the solo thing for a while and then I went into a band, which was like a folk band called Metal Arc, which I was in for 10 years. Had a couple publishing deals, couple like recording agreement things, released a lot of stuff, and then towards the end of 2023, that came to an end, coincidentally at the same time that I was like, right, I kind of want to do something completely different here. I've got enough money to kind of, like I say, sustain life for a little bit, but I want to like go balls to the wall basically and just see how I can make more money. So that brings me to the sites and everything that I started using. And I'm going to like start from like the questions now because they all kind of, the questions are, I've put in chronological order. So if you haven't like a notes app or anything, you just want to tap away. Like I said, this will be on YouTube. I've said that 1,000 fucking times now. Okay, so how do I start? How do I start? Okay, so if I was to start from scratch again, there are like, let's say 4 to 5 main sites that I would use. And I'm gonna, hopefully I can share my screen now because I want to, oh no, I hope Kath hasn't been waiting there for a while. Oh no, she had the bad reception, didn't she? Okay, right, can I share my screen? Girl, how many times have you used Zoom and you don't know how to do this? Okay. Share. Right, can you see my screen? Cool. Okay, so the main sites that I would use are the one, actually like a curveball I don't think many people know about is Vocalizer with a Z. This is where I would start now, kind of like if you definitely want to go into like the EDM kind of house drum and bass world, because a lot of producers basically post gigs here like all day every day. Whether it be like sample packs that they want made or like specific songs or TikTok reels, as you can see, ranging from like, you know, they just want to give you royalties or they'll give you like upfront fees. But it's a great way to kind of like practice top lining basically and getting better at like, you know, having someone on the other end be like, I want it a bit more like this, you know, it's just, and it's a great way to kind of make money. But the thing that you need to kind of like realize before actually pitching on something is that you need a kind of a reel basically. Where is it? Normally, oh, there you go. There's like a reel, like either a particular song that you really like that you've done, any specific top lines, or if before, this is what I mean about it being all over the fucking place, I'm sorry. Like before maybe going on to this, it might be best to like just write a bunch in general. Like if you really like house, you really like drum and bass, or you just like writing in general, just get better at kind of like recording your voice figuring out like how best to do it, the input volumes, the interface, the mic and stuff, which I'll go into in a minute. But once you have kind of like a good amount of vocals that you want to like, you think it showcase your talent, then you can put that as like a reel here, and you can bid on certain gigs. They also have contests where it just means loads of people kind of do the work and then they pick their favorites. And this was great for me because I met Hyperbits, who now I've done lots of work with, but I also, through him, found out how to do my vocals better, how to do the top lines better. We now have done splice packs together. So like you can meet great people here. And it's also just a great way to kind of like, if you look through and find producers, or you can sell vocals here, although I've never sold an actual vocal here, but you can find talent and then you can find them on Instagram, you can find them on TikTok, and like it's so beneficial to be actually social on social media and like follow as many producers that you like and just get in the weeds of it and get stuck in. So Vocalize is a great one in terms of like work straight away, as well as Fiverr, a classic. That's where I like really kind of started making money from vocals to begin with, was through Fiverr, Sound Better, and air gigs. So if I was to start again now, because I hadn't really done much top lining back then, you kind of would have to naturally put your prices a bit lower until you can build up a bit more of like, what do you call it? Kind of like the proof in the pudding type thing. So yeah, I would say like, if I was to do a full top line starting from scratch and people had no idea who I was, etc., I'd maybe do like a full one for like $100 now or something. And then like when you get better and better recording and all that kind of stuff, then I'd up it to 200 or so. But at the beginning, you kind of want to go in a bit lower just so they can be like, damn, she's so good. That was only $100, and I'm obviously going to go back to her because she's great, you know? So yeah, Fiverr, Sound Better, air gigs, Vocalizer. Great starts. And then, okay, let's go back to the questions. I'm so sorry, guys, if this is all over the place. I'm like really trying my best here. Okay, the skills. This is good. Okay, so the skills I personally think is learning how to record your own voice, obviously, like even just like the distance between you and the mic, how much input you need in the interface. All this is kind of stuff that you would need to find out like through a proper kind of recording class or something, because there's just so much that goes into it. And I know how to record my own voice now, but I don't know if I could tell you exactly how to record your own. But yeah, and then learning how to tune on Melodyne. This is like a fun fact, not so fun, but like I have trouble pitching so much. Like it's one of the reasons why I don't really like gigging, is because like in real life, I sing consistently sharp, no matter how much I try. No matter how much my brain knows I'm singing sharp, I just can't seem to fix it. So Melodyne is my best fucking friend. So if you can learn how to use Melodyne to the best of your ability, that's amazing. Learning how to edit them, so like, you know, cutting out the breaths and stuff, basically making it sound delicious before putting on like the vocal chain, the reverb, the echo and stuff. And then learning how to bounce down stems. So hang on, let me go here for a second. You can all see my screen, right? So if I was kind of like start doing a top line, what I literally did this yesterday is go on Splice. Splice is also going to be your absolute best friend. Find something in like the 120 to 140 BPM world, because that's where most of the money is. Find something that you really like. It doesn't matter the genre. I think, you know, I've had house producers use it and do like wonderful wild things with it. I've had like some vocals that I meant for garage be turned into drum and bass. Like it really doesn't matter as long as you vibe with it, love it, and your voice goes into it. Like the producers can decide which genre. So if you just find a sample that you really love, and then normally I do the lead vocal. I would sing the verse, although here I think I started with the chorus. I sing the verse a million times. I don't really like to comp. If I can, I will just kind of sing the verse over and over if I need to comp after. Do we know what comping is? Yeah. So if I need to at the very end, I can do that. But I tend to just like to keep singing until I know I've got the golden take. Then I'll go into like the pre-chorus. Then I would do the double track of the pre-chorus. Then the harmonies. Then I would go on the chorus, and so on and so forth. Am I jumping all over the place too much? I am so sorry. Any questions about this specific bit, like the recording bit, bouncing down stems, anything like that, that whilst we're here I can help with? How do I get back on Zoom? Okay. Is someone typing? I can't think. I can't. We all good? Well, any questions, please. Oh, we have Kath. Okay.
So you said you use sample from Splice normally,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you build vocal on this.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and obviously when it comes to like selling the vocals, I don't put the splice samples in because that would, obviously that's not
Yeah,
mine to
you
sell.
just use it for like an instrumental to create.
Yes. Just to
Okay.
create, and also like I do upload the demo to my website so people can obviously hear them. But yeah, it's basically just to catch a vibe. But there's so much good stuff on Splice. There are like song starters, and it's so easy to write with the stuff from Splice because it's just so good. Okay, right. Let's go back to the questions, which I'm pretty sure I've answered loads in one go. Do I have to have social media? I would say you do kind of have to. I feel like that is the biggest marketplace in the world. There are billions of people there. And it's kind of like it's kind of like exercise. Like you don't want to do it, but you also like regretfully have to admit that when you do it, you're like, damn, I'm seeing so much more work from this. And I implemented a thing on my site not long ago where people, when they buy the vocal at the end, they just let me know how, like where they found out about me. And nearly all of it is TikTok and Instagram. And I don't think you have to do it like a million times a day, but I do think if you can do it like once a day, I know that's a hell of a lot to ask, but my ideal week would look like recording vocals like Monday to Thursday and then Friday doing like batch videos for like the next week, basically, because it is so important. So I do think you do have to be on social media. Software, Logic Pro, but you could start with GarageBand. Like you can really start anywhere. Back in 2020, when I started, like I wanted to find a new way of making money online, so I started uploading cover versions to Spotify, just me and like my guitar. And obviously Spotify, the landscape even just 5 years ago was like completely different. But I didn't really think anything of that. It was like literally just me, my Shure SM7B, and recording me and a guitar. But that somehow managed to like, you know, that one of it's kind of annoying now. Now I'm trying to go in this very like drum and bass world. My top song on Spotify is an acoustic cover of the Beach Boys, Wouldn't It Be Nice? And it's great because it's got millions of streams, and actually that helps me like that's a great I still get, royalties from that, royalties money every month. But it just proves that you don't need to have like the best of the best to make money. Like you can just have like basic equipment like I did to make money. So don't think that you have to go all in and get the best of the best first. Hardware, this kind of goes like hand in hand. So this mic, I don't know if you can see it, this is like a Neumann U87. They are not cheap, my friends. They are like literally about $3,000, but hands down the best investment I ever made. Like the quality, like they're in studios for a reason. The quality is amazing. But like I said, I started with a Shure SM7B, and I'm pretty sure they're a couple of £100. So like, and I've seen professional vocalists all over my Instagram use this mic. So that's great. I currently have an Apollo Twin X interface. Again, not cheap. I think it's maybe like £800 or something. But to begin with, I had like the Scarlett 4i4 Focusrite classic. Everyone has a Focusrite interface. That's really all you need, like a mic, interface, laptop, and you can start recording like vocals today. So
have you noticed much of a difference from the Twin to the Focusrite, like the Apollo Twin?
yeah, and again, I regret to say that, but like it was kind of night and day, to be honest with you.
It's different about it.
Just the quality, like it's so much more like crystal clear. And there's something also about like the volume. You don't have to like push the gain as much. I very regretfully did it, but someone kind of told me like honestly you will notice a difference, and I was like, will I? Because surely it's just recording the actual microphone. And then I did it, and I was like, fuck yeah. So it is worth it if you can get it. So yeah, that's my recording setup at home, which is the next question. Do you do this?
Sorry, Kate, can you write out like the name of the microphone of the
Of course.
maybe at the end, just or in the message?
Yes, absolutely. I'll do that now so I don't forget.
Did you change audio interface and microphone at the same time, or did you do it in steps?
Did it in steps. So I think I got this microphone maybe like years ago now, and not even for selling vocals. I think I was, I was still uploading covers to Spotify, and I just wanted a better quality mic. And the thing is with these are really great, but the gain is quite low, and so you have to like push it quite a lot. And then once you push the gain up, obviously you get a lot of the noise, which I'm sure you're nodding, so you hear the same. So this one, it's way more sensitive. You don't have to push it as much, which means there's less white noise in the background, which is obviously what you want for like professional recording. I'll just put this here so you can remember. Okay, do you do this full time, and if so, how did you make the transition from other work, if applicable? It is full time, but like I said, I had the kind of like the bed of career before this. So I was making money from streaming and from Patreon, but this is far and above beyond income wise, so like this would still be what I would like put all my eggs into basket wise. How do you get your music in front of the right people? So yeah, signing up to those sites. Wait, I feel like that was it. So the starter sites would be the Sound Better, Fiverr, Air Gigs, etc., just to get that top line songwriting muscle flexed, because I think it is a muscle. You do need to write as much as possible, and like, listen to play, like if you want to write drum and bass or house or just EDM in general, like go on Spotify and listen to the playlist, listen to the top 5 of the playlist, hear what they're making, hear what's like getting lots of streams, and create your own version of that. So yeah, like I think working with people on Fiverr and stuff is a great way to flex that muscle and just get feedback in real time. And the only reason I don't do that now is because truthfully, I would rather work alone. I would rather not speak to people. I'm very introverted. And also for me, the idea of like selling a vocal and that just being it, like me writing something from my heart, putting it on my website and someone buying it and then that being it, is like a joy to me. Whereas the kind of the back and forth and going back into the project and redoing stuff, that's like my nightmare. So it was great to start with, like I say, and it did bring in money, but now I'm kind of making it off my website. I'm like, I don't want to speak to people in the best possible way. So the sites for actually selling vocals that I still use to this day are, I'll write these down now. Hit Vocals. They're great, but they're quite picky. But what's good about them is they also send like a newsletter out like every month, and they let you know what producers are looking for. And actually they really want to build an amazing site there. And so if you contact them directly and are just like, what are producers liking in the minute, they'll give you like reference tracks. So they're really great people to know. And also they haven't just started, actually, they've been doing it for a while, but they've put in more money in their sample marketplace basically. So you can, if you've just created like a bunch of samples today, you can either like put them up there for a one-time fee of $4, or you can do like a royalty share if you want. But I think it's great if you just wanted to write like, I don't know, 20 samples in one day, you could technically earn $80 from that today if you wanted to. Like I say, they are quite picky, so they'll have to approve them. But if the sound quality is good enough, there's no reason why they wouldn't. So that's a great way to like quickly earn money from vocals. So yeah, Hit Vocals. The vocal market is a great one. This is the big one. Avoid Vocal like the plague. Do not use that site. They are horrific. They will scam you. And the only annoying thing is they were great. They were so great. And annoyingly, they have like the biggest marketplace of producers. Like so many producers still use that site. But
Sorry, which site? I didn't get it.
I'm writing it down now, but it's called,
Okay, great.
that's okay, VOKAAL. But actually, I think because it's going so downhill, he's not even letting new singers sign up. I think that's like how bad it is now. So I'm saying that just in case you do come across it and you do want to sign up, just don't. Hit Vocals, the vocal market. What's the other one? Vocal Deals. They have also just put in a lot of money to their like back end. And apparently it's amazing. I actually haven't like put many of my vocals on there yet just because my site is doing so well. But like I say, the reason I would use these sites still is because that's where most of the producers are still going. And so once you make that contact, even if they're just selling a vocal once, and you can get their email or their name or their artist name, you can then go and follow them on Instagram. And then you can hopefully get more sales separately, so you don't have to give commission elsewhere, you know. But it's good to like build a producer base by selling vocals on these sites first before creating your own site, or as well as, you know, wherever you are in this, it's fine. So yeah, that's how and also, this is going to be way fucking longer than an hour. I'm sorry. There's me thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to be done with all these questions in 20 minutes. I've got through like fucking 5. The other thing that I also like to do is go to these like vocal sites as Instagrams and then look in the comments of producers and like follow those producers. Do you know what I mean? Like actually become social on the social media, follow loads of people. Undoubtedly, they will follow you back. The other thing I would say is like, if you're serious about this, invest in an Instagram blue tick. Like I paid for mine, I'm not ashamed to say it, because people do take you more seriously. You know, if you have like a professional headshot, a blue tick, and you've got like work, like people can look at a video and hear a stunning voice straight away, they're gonna take you more seriously. So yeah, follow people, be social on social media, go on the vocal sites, make those connections. That's how I would do it. Best way to promote
on these other sites, are you putting your non-exclusive vocals that are also on your website on these other sites, or are you keeping them like separate?
No, so the non-exclusive ones, because any producer anywhere can get them, you can make money across loads of different sites by putting them all up on different sites. And I tend to now, I didn't at the beginning, I tend to keep all of my exclusives on my own website just because I don't want to give a hefty commission away to other sites. But like I say, at the beginning, that is a great way to kind of like build rapport with producers. But that's the beauty of a non-exclusive vocal, is that you can sell it anywhere you want, you know, and it could be passive income on loads of different sites.
On those sites, do you find that they still let you take publishing for the exclusive vocals? Because I've worked with Vocalfy for a while, but they just give away all the royalties.
What?
But it was when I saw that you were still keeping, I mean, they sell it for like more, but
they don't let you keep any of the publishing?
No, they just pay a fee like flat out.
I mean, I guess maybe that's just their like their USP or something, but I don't think I would ever want to give non-exclusive. Fine, that's like royalty free stuff, but I'm never going to sell an exclusive and not retain some kind of royalty, because if if that like blew up and got millions and millions of streams and you I don't know, just made like 300 quid, that would absolutely kill you. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, but I get it, like especially at this kind of level, like getting upfront fees like that is great. Yeah, I don't know if I would do that, but that's just because I feel like, I don't know, I'm cynical and untrustworthy in this space sometimes, just because the internet is going to internet and people are going to people, and like if I knew all of the ways that people were just pillaging my voice every day, I would probably kill myself. So okay, yeah. What's the best way to promote your services? So obviously social media, absolute game changer. I hate to admit it, but it's really worth it. The other way is by giving away free vocals. I hate to say it, but the amount, I'm sure you'll all have come across this at some point, but the amount of messages you get from producers being like, do you want to collab? Which just means like, can you do free work basically? And then I'll put it on Spotify, it will get 10 streams and you'll have done all that work for nothing. It's like, that's how it feels. So I would have I've had one vocal that was really, really popular, and I would basically just kind of like, my friend taught me how to do this because he was just in the marketing space, but it was basically just a video. I'm sure you might have seen it on my Instagram, but I'll just point to a thing that says like download this vocal. I'll promote that on like Facebook and Instagram. And then that will basically be like a lead generator. So they'll click that, it will immediately go to like a mailing list thing. They'll sign up to my mailing list and then they'll get the free vocal. I never really, you always hear about people saying build an email list, but oh my God, has that been like the most beneficial thing? Like maybe, I don't know, 2,000 subscribers now to my list, which you wouldn't think is like a crazy amount, but when it comes to like a sale, that's like a lot of warm people there that are just like, oh, I'm in the market for a vocal today and I like her stuff, so I'm just gonna spend 10 quid. And it might not be a crazy amount of money, but like if you have a bunch of people there that already know you and like you, like that's invaluable. So giving away a free vocal in exchange for an email lead has been one of the best ways that I've been able to kind of like sell services and get more people in the door, as it were. How many tracks do you make on average a month? So yeah, I mean, it's so varied at the minute. I've had a friend live with me for the last couple of months, so I haven't really been able to work much. But as I say, my dream week would be to record one non-exclusive, one exclusive, one limited edition, which is not a necessary thing to do. I just like to do that for my own site. 5 samples for my own sample marketplace. And then, like I say, Friday, which is batch social media-ing. I haven't done that. I don't think I've ever had one successful week of doing that. But I would like to get anywhere from like 5 vocals to like 20 vocals on my site a month, ideally. The more the merrier, obviously quality included, but I would like to Monday to Friday be doing something towards uploading a vocal, basically. What platform do you use for your website and commerce? So I use Squarespace. Would I recommend Squarespace? Probably not. If I was to start again, I'd probably go to Shopify, because as an e-commerce thing, that's just way better. Although it is, from when I vaguely was thinking about transferring it, it's way more complicated over there and requires a lot more knowledge of how to do it. So you might need some help. I stuck with Squarespace in the end because the transfer was just going to be way too much. It was way too complicated and I didn't know how to do it. Squarespace can be quite limited in a lot of things, but I built the website basically with ChatGPT, and it took me honestly about 2 weeks, and it was horrific and awful, and every single second was going into making the site. But it just shows what you can do if you like learn a tiny bit of code. And the thing is, if ChatGPT like keeps telling you ways to put something in code, eventually you're just going to be like, oh, I think I put that here and then that means that. You just kind of just get to know it like any other language. So that's what I use. I don't necessarily think I would recommend it, but it's doing exactly what it needs to do for me right now. So if anyone wants any kind of like help code wise or anything specific Squarespace wise, I'll be happy to help, because once you get the hang of it, uploading a new vocal, making a new page and all that kind of stuff becomes like second nature. But it took me a while to get used to it. Real name versus professional stage name. So I use the same name for both, but honestly, if I could go back, I probably would do it a bit differently. I probably would use an alias, just because I think I'd be a lot less precious about my vocals. And obviously, like I have my artist stuff, which is very like drum and bass heavy, which is still where I want to go and where I'm like putting a lot. I'm basically doing half and half at the minute. And the only reason I would say an alias is because some could say maybe that it might cheapen my name if you've just got all my vocals ranging on a quality of different productions. And I'm sure we'd all like our voice to be on like incredible, amazing tracks only. But it is what it is. But that's why I separated the Instagram pages, so that there was a very clear thing for my vocals and a very clear thing for my artist page. It's not always easy. There's a lot of crossover. But yeah, I think I think I would have an alias if you're thinking about it and you want to just kind of have fun with it and it's less artist stuff, have an alias, I would say. What voice type is most in demand? Honestly, like I don't think there's a voice type in demand. I honestly think it's like your style, it's how you write, it's your lyrical content, like it's going to be you specific that's going to make you stand out, you know? But like I say, I do think going on Spotify playlists and listening to what's like doing well is great, because then you can take that and be like, okay, that's the kind of structure they like. This is the type of vibe. If I had this particular like deep house sample, this is kind of the vibe, but then I'm going to put my own stamp on it. That's what's going to make you stand out. But yeah, not a specific type of voice, I don't think. Typical sample length, verse and hook. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, if you could see my whippet right now. He's just on his back like a little beetle. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. What is this? Typical sample length. So like I said, I've done a couple sample packs for Splice now. They normally want it like 8 bars. And anything more than that is just a lot of work for you. So I would keep it to 8 bars. And most top lines are pretty much like that. Like a verse is about 8 bars, pre-chorus another 8 bars, chorus, kind of like post-chorus, 8 to 16 bars. So I don't know if that really answers the questions. Any pitfalls, scams for us to avoid? Vocal, big no. I don't think I have had any other scams yet. I would be wary of anyone. I think on Vocalizer, for example, there was one particular thing, but it was actually the host of Vocalizer. It was the guy, the main head honcho. He put up something that was like, there's a massive client and they want to hear lots of covers and they want like 5 or 6 of them in one go, and they want one dry long sample of your voice, and it was like $10,000 or something was the winning thing. So loads of people were inputting it. And then a few months later, like no one was hearing anything. And I was just thinking, were they trying to get loads of like dry vocals to like put in an AI fucking machine? And like, I don't really know what happened with that. I messaged the head guy like twice, just being like, I'm really not sure about this, but he assured me it was absolutely nothing like that, and he was for the artists. But I guess just always be wary about who you're sending your vocals to, and if you can like make sure that they're a proper artist and they actually care about art and vocals, then do your best. But honestly, like I say, the internet's going to internet, and there's only so much control you can have over your voice when it's out there, unfortunately. Best tip for marketing, the same stuff basically. Social media. The one thing I have found with social media is on Instagram, I have found that like storytelling and like more kind of talking about like life as a singer and just general things like that do well. Whereas on TikTok, you can find more like, if you just have an amazing vocal, all of a sudden you'll get lots of people watching. But that's just me. You might find something different. Those two are definitely the best ones, though. I haven't found much luck on YouTube or anything like that.
How did you decide what to post on social media? Because like you said, you can do like anything.
Yeah.
And you have to find something that works and that get people to see you.
Yeah.
How did you find that?
Very difficult, to be honest, because every week I just come to my phone and I'm like, what now? Because there's like, I have all these vocals and I want to sell them and I want to share them, but like there's only so many ways that you can like position the camera or say, I wrote this about this. So you have to be quite creative. And to be honest, ChatGPT has helped, I say a bit there. Sometimes its ideas are just horrific, but honestly, every week I'm just kind of coming to it like new. I'm just like, okay, what am I going to do this week? What vocals have I written? Is there any particular like lyric that I think I could be like, I wrote this song about this? Or did I do a particular like harmony or a gang vocal that I could, ask the audience like, do you like this? Is it better with this? Or is it not better with this? Or, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the kind of the producers that just want to like steal from you and stuff. Like any general like fun day-to-day stuff or just, you know, B-roll of you just like living your life, and then, you know, some text being like, I'm trying to make money online as a singer. What do you think I'm good enough? Or like, it can just be anything, you know. But to be honest, I'm still working that out for myself. I don't know, but I'll keep trying. I've really let that go recently. So I need to get better at that for sure. How do you decide which vocals to offer under the different licenses? Is it just an intuitive knowing based on complexity of lyric, melody, random, some other measure? Yeah, basically, it's all just kind of like up to the day, however I feel. Obviously, if it's like an absolute banger and I love it, I guess that's the other thing that you guys need to decide. Are you wanting to like have more collaborations and features? And is that what you want your artist thing to be? Because if so, I would go about it differently to if you just wanted to make money from it as like a side thing. So for example, the drum and bass stuff, which is like my goal and where I want to go, I don't tend to sell vocals in that field. I tend to just do like actual collaborations and features, and I will basically write like 5 to 7 of like my best favorite top lines, put them in like a SoundCloud secret list, and then basically just go ham and like message loads of producers on Instagram. That is basically how I got like a lot of my features. Luckily, it's also through people I know. They were able to like intro me on some labels and emails. But yeah, if you want to go down that route, I would say like keep your best ones. Don't sell them, put them in a SoundCloud list, and then be like, hey, I really think this would be amazing for you. Like, I love this song that you've done. I think this would be great. And like, thing is, producers are always looking for a vocal that they love. It's rare that they're just not going to listen to it. So yeah, I would do that. But in terms of the vocal selling, if I've written like what I think is a banger, I'll keep it as an exclusive. Because there's more chance of someone being like, oh, that sounds amazing, I want to buy that, and they'll buy it at a higher price. But then there's also merit to like writing something amazing and knowing that if I had that as a non-exclusive vocal, tons of producers could buy that for years and years to come. So it really is just up to you. And I also kind of do it on like where I am financially. If I need a bit more money, I'll upload more exclusives. If I'm doing well, I'll try and do like a bit of all of them. It's just kind of up to you, really. I do release my own songs as well as selling vocals. How do you manage control over your artistic identity if your voice appears in productions that don't fully represent you? Yeah, that is why, again, I would have an alias, because I can't really have much control over that now. But having said that, like, if your voice does well on a, I don't know, weird like trip hop track, like at the end of the day, your voice is still going to be heard, and people might still reach out to that producer and be like, hey, who sings that? That's sick. And they might still find you. So it may not be to like your taste, but more people hearing your voice is never going to be a bad thing, in my opinion. Do you rely more on social media platforms? All of the above. All of the above. Do all of them if you can. Any tips for building an effective portfolio? Just write as if there's like, I was about to say no tomorrow, but like if there's a tomorrow, you need to write then too. flex the muscle, keep writing, because you're just going to get better and better. And if I think back to some of the first vocals that I was doing, like the recordings were so quiet, like you could hear so much noise, but like they had heart. So like there's a lot now that I actually think back to when I first started doing it, like, damn, I don't really write like that anymore. And there was a bit more heart there, but it's almost because it's like a bit more strategic now, and I know what type of lyrics they want and whatever. There's less kind of me really in the vocals now, because it's more kind of like I'm aiming for a particular thing, you know. What the hell was I answering? Any tips for building an effective portfolio? Yeah, just keep writing, keep honing that skill, keep listening to playlists, what people want, keep asking producers like what type of vocal do they want, and just keep uploading, keep sharing, keep giving stuff away for free as well in getting leads. Like, just keep fucking going. Have you ever refused projects because they didn't align with your image or values? Not because of not aligning with image or values, but I've refused a lot of projects recently, again, just because I'm like, I'm in a business of not wanting to do custom work at the minute, and I just want to like be on my own and write by myself. But that's the other good thing. Like if you guys like custom work and you like working, you know, back and forth with producers, there's so many producers want a vocal just for them, you know, like there's once you're like in this world and you're kind of like you can talk to these people, you realize just how many producers there are that want vocals. Like I don't think you're ever going to be not in work if you can like have professional sounding stuff and it can sound beautiful and polished and amazing. There's going to be a producer out there that's going to want that vocal. Like they're everywhere basically. How do you protect your voice from being misused or manipulated? Quite hard, definitely, in this day and age, but this is one of the things that I need to get better at, but I've only just started doing. When uploading exclusives to my website, I will not only export the demo in at a much lower like sample rate, so it sounds kind of crap anyway, but I will also add like I don't know if you guys have heard it, there's like a katemcgill.co.uk that just kind of like goes every like 10 seconds or so. I still think stem separators, they can probably get rid of that annoyingly, but you can only do what you can do. And obviously if they're exporting it, ripping the vocal and stuff from an already crappy sounding MP3, it's going to sound even worse. So those are the things that I would say to like do to protect your voice. How long does it usually take you to create a vocal package? I guess was there any of you guys that wrote this question? Because what by package do you mean, like a sample pack or a top line itself? Is this any of you guys? No? Okay. Well, if it was like a splice sample pack, it's how long is a piece of string? That really is like how much do they want? But an actual top line, like I can write and record it, say in like 2 to 3 hours, and then I will edit it, tune it, bounce down the stems, upload it to my site in the next 3 hours. So 6 hours in total from like 10 to 4. And that's a vocal done. Do you have a routine or system that helps you stay consistent? I guess, I mean, yeah, but that's kind of like specific to my own like life. I will like, whenever my dog gets taken out for his walk in the morning, I will sit down, I will drag a splice sample into Logic, and I will just start singing anything into my microphone, like just start vibing to it, have the whole thing on loop, keep singing until something sticks. You're like, oh my God, I really like that melody. And then hopefully there'll be a certain word that peeps through and you're like, oh, I just keep saying window there. And then you could be like, okay, I'm going to create a song around that. I have been known to use ChatGPT to help with lyrics because I'm not going to lie, lyrics are not my forte. And when you write songs every single day, there's only so much of your own life that you can pick from. So I actually have like a lyric generator that I made from all my like past vocals. And that I can just be like, write something about this, and then I'll be like, oh, I like that line or that phrasing, and then I can carry it on myself. So that's good to just kind of like help, think of something out of thin air. Yeah, do I have a routine? Yeah, so then I'll, what was I saying? I'll sing something, I'll start getting a verse, chorus and stuff down, then start like properly recording. And then, like I say, that the whole thing will be done in like the next kind of 6 hours, really. Do you see yourself selling vocals long term or moving toward personal projects? I would love to do this like as long as I can, really. I feel like I've really found something that I love to do. I get to sit in my pajamas with my dog every day and just sing and write. I mean, what a fucking amazing job. So I would absolutely love to do this for as long time, but I also, like I say, really love the drum and bass world, and I will keep basically just trying to like find a good in between like putting vocals on my website and selling them to doing collaborations and features when the time feels good or when I get sent something. So yes. How to handle publishing, registering PRS for exclusive vocals and enforcing they register as needed. This is where I need to get better, my friends. So I am registered to my PRO in the UK, which is PRS. And I'm also registered to Centric, which cover the international royalties, the publishing royalties. Obviously, a lot of the vocals that have been sold for me are royalty free, so I don't need to worry about the publishing for those. But when it comes to the exclusives, this I don't really have a system yet, and this is where I'm like, do as I say, not as I do. Because one thing I definitely know that I want to do moving forward is, so on Squarespace you can either sell digital downloads, which is what I do for all my like non-exclusive vocals, but because the download option on Squarespace doesn't allow you to put in a stock, and obviously with exclusives I only want one to ever be sold, so I have to list them as services, which means that nothing is like inherently sent to them when they buy it, so I have to manually send them the stems. But that kind of works out well, because my plan is to, once they place the order, I send them a license agreement, and then I send the stems once they've sent it back signed. Basically, that's my thing. But I haven't been doing that, I'm not going to lie to you. This is where it's bad, because I'm almost like waiting for something to happen, or for some song to like blow up, and for me to be like, it was your fault, Kate, you didn't fucking like, you didn't get an agreement signed. So yeah, definitely, if all else fails, just get an agreement signed somewhere along the way, that even just like super clear, like, you own this, I own this, you will let me know when you release the song, so I can get the ISRC code and I can register it with my PRO. But obviously, like, you can register a song to PRS even like years after it comes out. But one thing I have found is that producers are if they've bought an exclusive vocal from you, they're going to be taking it seriously, and a lot of the time they're excited about the vocal and they're excited about what they're making with it. And so rarely have I found a producer not wanting to send me the track and then to update me like, oh, I got signed to this label, blah blah blah. So most of these people aren't bad people that are just suddenly gonna fuck you over, but it's still definitely something you need to do, and that I need to do, is getting better at just having the contract signed before giving your exclusive vocal away. So yeah, reading these questions today, I was like, fuck me, I need to get better at that. How to get files to them once they've bought. You did
put it in your agreements, in your
yes. So I have like a license.
It's there, right? Yeah.
And they do have to tick the box once they purchase. But I feel like I still don't think that's good enough, especially when it comes to exclusive agreements. I think for general kind of like buying the non-exclusives, and just to kind of like remind them not to tag my name, I think that stuff is helpful. But when it comes to like proper agreement, having something signed and solid that you can like show in court one day, I think that's going to be more helpful than they ticked a box on my website, So
yeah,
that's just more of an extra step that I think is important to take.
Always better.
Yeah, for sure. So I mostly use Dropbox. It's like $9.99 a month, but like that's where all of my stems are basically. How to get people's emails for mailing lists: offer a free song. That's going to get people in. And if they like your vocal, they think that they sound professional, the stems are really clear, marked lead vocal, double track, harmony, everything is clear and easy to use and to drag and drop into their door, they're going to come back, So have you experimented with sponsored posts? Yes, I do that frequently. Whenever I get like an influx of money, I will just basically put an investment back into Facebook and just put out those leads. I've tried advertising actual like sales on my website. I never find that goes well, because people don't want to buy vocals a lot of the time. They just want to have them for free. So if you I think freebies do work well in terms of getting emails for that. Social media sites, Instagram and TikTok for sure. Would you recommend setting up separate social media account? Yes, I would. That's obviously if you want to have separate things. If you want your artist thing to be collabs in this world and features in this world, then keep it all as one. Where do we go? Any other tips and tricks to drive traffic to the website? the kind of I feel like I'm a broken record here. The being the social on social media, like following back producers, liking their stuff, seeing who's commenting on their stuff, because likelihood is like there's going to be like a level of producers that maybe aren't like, you know, Cascade and Alan Walker, but they're going to be like still in the space. They want to do it professionally. They're not like, you know, bedroom producers with no money. There's like a middle people there that have like, they want to get better. They want to spend money on vocals. Like find those people through social media and like follow those, because they're going to be like the best like buyers, I would say. Offering a free vocal, of course. How else do I get traffic to my website? I do basically all the things I've said, being on all those websites, making those connections. Once you get a sale, say on like Hit Vocals or something, find their email address, find their artist name, follow them. Hey, thanks so much for buying the vocal. I also sell them on my site, you know, all that kind of stuff. If I think of any more, I will email you and let you know. How do you think the market will evolve with AI? Man, I would like to think that because AI is shoved down our fucking throats so much at the minute that people will just be like, I actually can't. This is so annoying. I just want a normal human vocal. Who's to say? I think AI vocals are getting good enough now that producers probably are using them everywhere. But I do like, there's nothing that can beat a human like emotional song. There just really isn't. I have been in talks with one AI vocal kind of, what do you call it? I don't know, company. But the good thing about them is that they're very much doing it like with the artist. They're not just stealing the work and then making their own model from your voice. It's very much like it's ethical AI basically. So if I was to ever move forward in that space, it would be that way. You can either they can either pay in fees or you can have your name on it and get royalties. But there is a way to be in the AI world and get ahead of that if you want to. Let me just find out the name in case that was anything that you guys wanted to do. The only reason I have gone with this company is because I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a guy on, I can't find it, on YouTube called Ben Jordan. He basically like is so for the artist, so against Spotify, so against all these things, but he's also like a tech wizard, and he has found a way to like poison AI vocals, basically things that you could put in your music, like really low levels, that like when it's like enhanced and whatever, it just sounds fucking awful basically. So he's great and he's very against that stuff, but he is one of like the founders of this vocal AI machine thing. So he's pretty much the only reason that I've decided to potentially go with this and put my voice model on this thing. So if you do want to know more about that, I can let you know. If you guys need to go, I'm so sorry. I'm aware we've got 5 minutes left and like a bunch more questions. But if there are any like pressing ones like here, feel free to share anything that I've not answered. Otherwise, I can just keep going through these. But I don't want any of you guys to leave without getting an answer to a question that you really have. How do you handle payments and set your prices? I would say there's a very on all the websites or the royalty-free a cappella sites, there's a clear bracket between non-exclusives and exclusives. Non-exclusives range from like $19.99 to like $69.99, that kind of bracket. And then exclusives anywhere from like $200 up to however much you want, really. But I would say, you know, $300 to $400 I have found as a sweet spot. But you'll get the hang of it, to be honest. How did you set up your website? ChatGPT, Squarespace, and much difficulty and sweat and blood and tears. Which tools, skills are essential? We have done that one. Can you talk about the meaning behind why you don't want your name credited when your vocals are used? This is because, yeah, I love the drum and bass world. I want my name to be on that stuff. That's stuff that I love. That's productions that I am collaborating with and like feel really confident about. But obviously if you're selling like the same vocal to a million producers, I can't have like loads of the same song coming out on my Spotify with loads of different producers. It's just so messy and an absolute, it would be ridiculous. So yeah, that's why I would rather just have more control over what my name is on, though sometimes people will just tag you anyway and you have to relentlessly hassle them to take your name off. What's different when you do allow one to be credited? Do you have a little production added for when you showcase your vocals? Have you found a particular formula that works best to add just enough context support, or do you play around with it a lot? I don't, when it comes to production, I don't really play around with it. And especially when it comes to my vocal chain, like that's, if you want the specific vocal chain, it is on my site if you want to figure that out. But I don't really play around with it, to be honest. I have a set thing, I use the same thing, and then I might add a bit of tape delay at the end just because it sounds beautiful. And when it comes to the splice samples, I might add like, I'll just kind of make it sound as much as like a produced song as I can, but just using like the most basic samples and using some kind of like swoosh sounds into the chorus, so you get a bit more kind of like emphasis going into it. But I really don't do much, to be honest. You guys know music, you'll know what sounds good, and like you have to just make it sound how you would want it, like how you want to get your vocal across, you know. I trust you guys to know what you're doing there, I'm sure. Outside of ghost vocal licensing and a straightforward vocal fee, while giving 100% master rights to the composer, can you talk a bit about retaining publishing rights and your insight about the best options? Do you self-publish through your PRO, or did you create a publishing entity, work with a publishing admin, or an actual publishing deal? I have had a couple of publishing deals, and I personally don't rate them. I feel like they just kind of get you in with an advance, and then they just kind of keep you there. And then if anything comes along, they get to take a nice commission from it and be like, we did that. And it's like, did you really? So no, I self-publish. Like I say, I'm with PRS and Centric for the international ones. And that's kind of it, really. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of publishing royalties I'm perhaps missing out on somewhere. And maybe it would be helpful to look more into that, but I don't as of yet. With regards to exclusive licenses, how do you best protect yourself in your work when it comes to the non-negotiables or the absolutes of your licensing terms? I guess making sure that the license agreement is super fucking like clear, no room for interpretation. And just the other day, actually, I had someone reach out and ask if they could get someone else to re-record the vocal and add a bit more to the song. And that, you know, is very much not a part of my license agreement. So if I wanted to do that, if I was okay with that, I would set up an entirely new agreement. But otherwise, like, and also kind of, I guess, making it as simple as possible. So it's not just convoluted and there's a lot to look through. Just be like, you do this, I own this. When it comes to this, this is what happens. There's just no grey area, basically. And that's, again, probably where I could be better, because a lot of the time you're just kind of hoping for the best in people and that they will honour the agreement that they have signed and agreed to. Oh my God, I think we're actually doing well here. Do you have any suggestions for organisation and tracking of things like compensation and contract agreements? I'm terrible at this, guys. This is the big one that I need to get way better at, because I actually don't have any suggestions. But if you guys have any suggestions for me on how to get better at that, I would very much appreciate that. To be honest, I kind of rely on Squarespace. Like I can obviously look through who's bought what. It's got their name, their address there. And obviously email wise, I can just type in the song or type in the artist name, email them. Again, there's a lot of relying on people who, I don't know, might not be decent people. And lastly, how do you feel about the state of AI and what they're calling ethical AI training? I did just say that. And the human element. And do you have any concerns? I guess it would be weird to not have concerns, because no one has a clue how this is going to go and how it's going to look. But right now, I feel confident in what I'm doing. I feel confident in the fact that AI is not quite there yet. And I do feel confident that the human element of music will always be something that's like cherished and wanted. And I think if you can make like the thing is, like, AI, I don't think is going to be able to like make an absolute bang. I don't know, like I don't have that much faith in it yet. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I think for now we're safe, and I want to like be alongside it if I can, but I don't know. Who actually knows? I don't know. Is there any more questions? I'm so sorry. That was so jumbled and all over the place. I hope that was like okay. But if you do have any questions, please ask them now. But if not, you can. We have no. Hi.
Hi, Kit. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Really, really helpful.
Hi.
But yeah, I asked about your home setup.
Yes.
I know that you had said that you've got like obviously the U87 and SMP. Is there anything else sort of other than like the mics and obviously like I guess the treatment, the sound treatment and stuff like that? Is there anything?
I guess if you can play an instrument, like having a MIDI keyboard is always handy. Just if you like don't want to use splice samples, you can always just like write something yourself. I prefer a weighted keys keyboard just because that's like my own thing. I do have this one. I very rarely use it. It's called like an Audio Technica AE5 400. But that's if I'm just kind of like want to vibe around the studio and not have to sit still. But apart from that, I do have speakers. I don't use them. Obviously, fucking headphones. Headphones are a good one. These ones are. Let me just write them down because I think these are like very.
Yeah.
Like every professional studio will have them. They're great headphones. Interface, XLR cable. That's pretty much it, to be honest.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
How do you decide which genre? Because you have difficult songs or top lines for different genres.
Yeah.
Of course, that depends on what vibe. But how do you decide? Oh, this is probably gonna be an EDM, or this is probably gonna be a house, or
Yeah, well, to be honest, like Splice kind of helps with that. Like you might be putting in the BPM, but it will be quite clear that like it'll say in the samples whether it's like a progressive house sample or a garage sample. And also you can just like, to be honest, like I get quite confused between all the house and techno genres because melodic techno and progressive house are basically the same fucking thing. So a lot of the time that's why, you know, on my site it's just house/techno because I'm just like no one fucking knows what they're doing here. But I think garage is quite obvious, like in that like 140 to 160 range. 120 to 140 is the kind of house techno. I'm not very good at trance yet. It's not something I listen to, so I don't really cater well to that. And obviously drum and bass is in the 170 to 175. So I guess that's kind of intuitive really, but a lot of, I mean, I'm sure there'd be producers who would listen through on my site and be like, she marked this is house and this is clearly techno. So I don't really know. I try my best to figure out what genre it'd fit best in, and obviously like when I'm writing it I display it in a certain way, so people might use it for a house track but I'm displaying it as like a garage track, for example. So I think it's up to your own interpretation, I would say. Yes. Any more questions?
When you do your mailing list, do you literally just keep it all on like a notes list, or do you have like is there like a software that you use?
Yeah, so Squarespace has like an integrated mailing list thing, which is really helpful. Although I've used MailChimp in the past, and they're great because obviously you can integrate them into your website. So yeah, definitely not like on my just like a note thing, but yeah, it's like integrated within Squarespace. And what's great about that is you can have different types. So like I have a default one, but then I have ones, you know, certain emails that I got from Vocal, that list that I might want to email specifically about that site who scammed me or something. Like you can just set up different tiers, or people who just found me through the mystery Vox box, I might want to just target them for something and stuff. So it's worth having like a separate third party thing for the mailing list.
When you send out for the mailing list, are you literally just like, I have a new vocal, check it out?
Yeah, so I because I'm sure we've all been on the receiving end of like annoying corporate mailing list crap all the time. If I get a certain amount in a week, I'll just be like, nah, you're annoying me, get out of my inbox. And I desperately don't want to be that, so I try and keep them quite sparse. So what I will do is I'll do one sale a month, and I'll make sure that I maybe do like 2 to 3 emails around that time, like one before, one in the middle, and like one just before it's ending. And then apart from that, it's kind of like an as and when. Like if I this week, for example, I'll definitely have been writing a lot. So I notice I get a lot more sales on my site on the Thursday to Friday period for some reason. So I'm going to do a list, an email out this weekend being like, here are all the vocals that I've uploaded this week, and go in a bit about like, this one is like a house track and it'd be great for this type of thing. And then, you know, the mystery Vox box, that's just come out. So I would basically just do a list of all the fun things. Try and make it like as fun and conversational as possible, because I want people to enjoy looking at my emails. I don't want them to become boring and corporate. But yeah, it's basically an as and when situation. I won't be doing loads of emails because I really don't want to bombard people. But if I've got a bunch of new stuff to share, I'll take that chance and normally do it, like I say, on a Thursday or Friday before the weekend, because I feel like that's when people are like, let's create. Good question. Thank you for that. Okay, was that okay, guys? Any other questions, please feel so free to email me or DM me. And again, I will put this on YouTube and I will send you all the link in your emails. But thank you so much for all the questions and for being here and for paying. That's very kind of you. And yeah, just I'm here if you want any other tips or tricks. And I hope this was good. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.